Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hard one for me. This subject is very hard for me uh, because I can truly relate to it. I've experienced this on some level in my life. I said on some level. Throughout my life, throughout the past uh, several years to maybe even a decade or so, I've come across people that I have known personally, who I have met even, uh, where their children were taken from them. Women, in most cases, their children were taken away because the powers that be, the local government, the state, the county, deemed that it was a better situation to remove the children from the custody of the mom and place them in what would be deemed as a more secure and or safe environment, because the mom was not able to provide for the child or children, or the mother may have even, according to their estimation, been abusive to the children. And we can even include the father when we use the term abuse, because nowadays there seems to be some issue with you spanking your child in your home. Years ago, many years ago, when I was a teenager, a youth, in elementary school, junior high school, and even high school, they still had corporal punishment where your teacher or the principal could swat you, paddle your behind, if you were out of line. But of course, we know that that was removed from the school systems. So was prayer, open prayer, and after taking these things out of school, corporal punishment, they seem to have virtually taken away all of the parents, mothers and fathers' right to discipline their children without scrutiny by the government. They inserted or implemented something called 241 kids. Now, don't get me wrong. Anyone being abused, in this instance I'm speaking about children, any child being abused in the true sense of the word abuse, if they're being abused, that needs to be addressed. And if it's to the point where that child's life and or well-being is at stake, then that child should be removed. But the child should remain in the family, if there's family, and maybe placed with another family member. That's something that should be dealt with within that family. I think ideally and morally, ethically, if you will, that's the right thing to do. No outside entity or third party should ever interfere in a private matter such as this one that I'm referring to now. No governmental institution should interfere. So why do they? Do you, in your estimation, those of you that are listening to me right now, do you trust the government with your child or with a relative's child? Are they going to nurture? Or are they going to make sure that that's the proper environment for their child's development? In the so-called foster care programs, I mean, these foster care programs consist of people, right? Now, you may come to the home and find out that they have all of the things necessary aesthetically You know, we have hot and cold running water. We have electricity. You know, we have a bed for the child to sleep in, and we have a nice cozy home here, and we're both working, or whoever the parent is that's there, they're working, they have income steady, and so forth. That might be in place, but what do you know about their mind, their mental state? This could be the foster parent I'm referring to right now. So how does the state, how does the government know that? How do you know about their sexuality? What if they are a gay couple, two men raising your boy? What if it's a lesbian couple, two women raising your young girl child? Will that boy and or that girl child be raised the way that they will have been raised in the traditional family? I'm asking that question. Would they be raised in those types of families in the way in which the mom and or dad that birthed them have raised them? Or would there be some difference? Would they be influenced by the sexual orientation of the new parents? I'm just using that as an example, and I'm throwing it out there. I'm not beating up on the gay community, the LGBTQ community. I'm not doing that. I'm just asking a question. So is it ethical for you to put a person's child that you, the government that is, deem as no longer healthy for the child to be in that particular environment, and you place them in that type of foster home or any other foster home with someone they don't know at all and that they're being introduced to for the very first time in their lives? Is that wholesome? Is it good? Is it ethical? As opposed to vying for a blood relative. Now, again, on the other hand, is your reasoning for taking the child out of the home justifiable? Hello? Is your reason, government, that is, I'm talking about the government, local government, state government, is your reason for taking that child away from his mom or his dad or both justifiable? And on what grounds? Based on what? Hello? That's what I'm asking. Now, I pointed out or alluded to this a moment ago, unless the child actually was being abused. Mental abuse, physical abuse, inclusive, right? And abuse. Anything other than that, can it be labeled as abuse? Why do we allow, and how is it that these third parties and these governmental entities take over our families and destroy our families and break our families apart? How is this acceptable? How is it? I won't mention names, and it's not necessary to mention names, but I'm just going to give you this. I know women that began to do drugs and live out on the streets, living that nightlife, if you will, and they've had their children taken away. I've known women that have got into some form of criminality where they were boosting or stealing from stores and selling products that they bought from the stores or stole from the stores, that is. And they compiled a list of things that they've done wrong in the criminal element, if you will, or sector, and they lost their children as a result, especially if they were involved in drugs and alcoholism, things of this sort, and even physical abuse. I understand that. I get it. But with that said, I believe that they still need to be diverted to some sort of program to try to rehabilitate themselves. But that's not going to always work for everyone. It doesn't, because I've seen success stories and I've seen stories where they have failed. And the moms are still out in the street, or they're locked up in jail somewhere. Maybe even a mental institution. I've seen that. But let me share this with you, and then I'm going to leave you. I know someone personally that was homeless. And they became pregnant. And they brought their baby to term. And a relative of hers told the people in the hospital, the social worker in the hospital, that this young lady had mental issues and that this woman was homeless. But this same woman that was homeless was taken into someone's home. No longer homeless. She just didn't have a job at the moment. So she's trying to prepare things for this new baby. And this person that took them into their home, they spoke with the social workers at the hospital and said that they are willing to give her a place to stay until she starts working and so forth, and the baby a place to stay, and make things comfortable for her and the baby. But this relative of hers had already gotten into the ear of the social worker and told them that this young lady had some personal mental issues, or a history of mental issues and so forth. Now, this woman brought the baby to term, and the woman had the baby. And this has been something recent. The woman had the baby. And do you not know that the baby was taken away from the mom? And the mom had only spent time with the baby for 3 days. How is this fair? How is this right? How is it right? You carry, now if you're a lady out there and you can relate to what I'm saying to you, I know you can relate to what I'm saying to, if you've not received, but if you experienced anything similar to this, or even very much the same, how is it right that you carry a baby for 9 months or so, and you deliver that baby? You felt it move in your womb. You were a mother indeed. You had no intentions of doing away with the life, but you wanted your baby. But life dealt you a harsh blow, and you were homeless at the time. Someone that you knew got you pregnant, past relationship, whatever the case was, but they got you pregnant, and then someone takes you in and say, well, I'm going to help you get on your feet in their home until you and the baby are in a better situation. And then here comes along this third party, or this entity called the local government, the state government. They take your child from you, and you have only been a mother for 9 months and 3 days approximately. You saw your child, and then they strip that baby from you and tell you that they don't believe that you're fit to raise this child because you were homeless. But you're not homeless now, mind you. But they're going by the word of another family member, and now you're being investigated to see if those allegations are true. But while that process is going on, you're going to be without your child, and maybe see your child for a couple hours a week. How is that? fair? How is it fair? So they want to know also if you are mentally stable. But how can you be mentally stable when someone took your child that you just gave birth to away? Hello? Wouldn't you be a little distraught? Wouldn't you be emotionally broken just by virtue of that? How do you justify this behavior? How do you? I know if I was a woman, and I'm not, but if I was a parent and I just had a baby born that's my child, and to have someone strip that child away from me, I would have some mental issues too, just as a result of that. But does not the system think like that? Do not these people within this system not have children of their own? Have they no empathy, no sympathy, no compassion for another human being? Hello. Such a sad story. Such a very sad story. So, I know this person. I want to say that. My prayers are with them. And right now, I ask for your prayers for this person, this young lady as well. And pray that she be delivered from this situation and that she gets her child back, and that she can spend the quality time at this earlier stage of her child's life where she can bond with her baby and her baby with her. Because this is not right, and this is not justice. In fact, it's sinful, and God does not like it. The Creator does not like this. You know, I've tried to console her, and she's trying to hold on and go through this process and do all of the things that they say that they require of her to do, you know, get a steady job and things like this. But it hurts. It hurts her. It hurts me being a father and having children and grandchildren to see another human being go through this, especially a mom. So please share your story. If you've experienced this or know someone who has, and please share your thoughts, and don't forget the prayers. I anxiously await your response to this video. Let me know what you think. Does the state or the county ever have a right to take your children if you have done no harm to your children, whether they be newborns or older? Thank you very much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and donate to my channel if you would, to help me continue this effort. I appreciate it. And so